Oh, look out there. Everybody's here. Yes, I'm still dressed up like an Eskimo. It's a little cool in the house as well. Something different for me here in my studio. It's usually pretty warm, but this is comfortable. I kind of like this weather. It's going to be chilly again tomorrow morning. So how you doing, everybody? Good to see you yet again today. We have to stop meeting like this. Welcome. It almost comes out, welcome to morning coffee, but that's like automatic, but I have to be very careful. And I have to be careful not to tell you to drink it if you got it. But that's okay. Drink it if you got it. I'm going to. Well, it's Tuesday night. About 50 people so far. Good to see you. Let's see how we're doing over there in Rumble. Not a soul in the chat yet, but 3 people viewing. Let's see if I'm even live over there. Doesn't appear that way. For some reason, maybe Rumble didn't get the message. What did I do wrong? Well, sorry, Rumble. You guys are just going to have to miss out tonight, I guess. Okay. Little announcement. Unfortunately, Ellen won't be here with us tonight. She has not had a good day. I talked to her after the live stream this morning, and she seemed fine, but she texted me a little while ago and told me that she didn't have a good day and she might make it into the chat a little later. So we'll look out for her and see if she's in there. But we miss her. And hopefully she'll be bright and chipper tomorrow morning and come in and assume her rightful place in the penthouse, overseeing us. Right now, the penthouse is empty, as you can see. It's blackness up there. Nobody's home. Well, life goes on. And I need to handle this by myself tonight, so we're going to just have to wing it. We're going to have to do me looking in the chat for questions. If you have questions, put them in the chat with a QQQ in front of them. I'll try to get to them. Another thing, it's going to be a short live stream tonight, about an hour. Sometimes I think that's probably better, especially with all the morning live streams. But my day didn't start out too good, as you recall, with some technical emergencies this morning. And then about midday, I get an email from one of the clients that I do a lot of website work for, big utility company. And they sponsor every year a contest. A contest called the Water Poster Contest. They have kindergarten through 6th grade elementary schools throughout an entire county in Florida draw water conservation posters, enter them into this contest. And they do it every year. And I'm going to try to just so you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to bring up the well, I got it under construction there. Let me see if I can log in. And there it is. Okay, let me show you what this is. This is the website. And this year is the 16th annual Water Awareness Poster Contest. And it says registration is now open. And guess when they wanted registration to open? And they notified me today, mind you. Tomorrow, they said, yes. Now, normally they give me a week, maybe even 2 weeks notice because I have to rebuild this entire website, every page, every document. It has games and puzzles. They're all new. It has application forms. It has teacher's instructions. And all of that stuff has to be changed. And I got to tell you, it's at least 2 to 3 days work, and I need to get it done by tomorrow morning. Now, they feel bad about waiting till the last minute to get this stuff to me. And I can't even turn my cell phone off now because they're still sending me stuff, and I need to know when I get it. Need to know when I get it. So figure, well, I'll do an hour of this and I'll get to work and I'll get as much done as I can tonight. They are, however, thanking me acutely for this. And this contest is sponsored by a lot of different people, and they have things like, well, here, for example, here's a photo gallery of last year's winners, and just to show you, they actually have. Oops, that's not it. Let me get the kids' photographs in there with the. Come on, where are the kids' posters? Here we go. There you go. And these are the posters that these kids draw. And some of them are pretty good. And they go from kindergarten to 6th grade. Anyway, that's the website, and I got to and that's last year's, a lot of last year's stuff on there, and I got to do it into the wee hours of tonight. So we'll do this. And it's just been, like I say, it's been one of those days, and there's nothing you can do about one of those days. And Ellen, if you're listening, no problem. I understand. Sometimes life just gets in the way. So let's get started. Let me just get started. Let me go back up to the top of the chat and just say hi to a few people, and hopefully you guys will put some questions in. And if there aren't any questions, we'll cut it even shorter. And I apologize. I was going to call it off. I mean, about 2 hours ago, I was ready to just say there's no way I have time to do this tonight. But here I am. The show must go on. Anyway, Peter, Papa Carnivore, was here first. Says hello to everybody. How you doing? Lori's here, and that's one of her many one of her different accounts. Lori's Carnivore Story. Good to see you, Lori. How you doing? And we have Mike Seeley's here, United Carnivore. Rick from Miami Charger, Mopar. Good to see you. Peter is here. IB Bill 42 from Arkansas. Good to see you. Cliff Medina, my buddy Cliff, is here. And a big thanks to Francine Bourgeois, 50 Canadian dollars for me. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. And she says, buy yourself a coffee mug warmer. No more cold coffee either on the porch or in your studio. Thank you. I might very well just do that. Francine. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And Tuka's here from Finland. Turamir Carnivore, 2:10 a.m. in Finland. Holy cow. Good morning to you, my friend. My buddy Jody, Drone Shots, is here. How you doing? And Spanky, hiya Spanky, says, let's get this party started. Okay, now I'm tired. Paul McGrogan, how you doing? And Sandy Blythe is here. Good to see you. Jerry Bell, hello, meat people. And Kitchen Witch is here. Kitchen Witch. Thanks, Francine, as well. Good deal. Mike Seeley Sr.'s here. How you doing? How you doing? And, let's see here. Who else we got? Somebody new. Smoothie 42 is here. All the usual suspects. Mark Whistler. Hi, Mark. How you doing? 369 days on carnivore. Good for you, man. You broke the first year. You're 4 days into the second year. Congratulations. While everyone is popping popcorn for the political show, I said probably everyone here is making bacon chips for this show. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And here's Lori back under her regular name. And Nikki W is here. Hi, Nikki. How you doing? Good to see you. Tina Swikerath's here. Good to see you too, Tina. How you been? Michael Pregler's with us. Good to see you. And I'm going to just keep going down the chat until I see a question or not. I got to admit, I did no prep for this. Don't want to bore the hell out of you guys. So chat away, talk to each other, and I'll just kind of play referee for the whole thing till I see some questions. Jack 51 says, good evening, everyone. Good to see you. And Sandy Blythe is here. Hiya, Sandy. Jerry Voitush, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Greetings from Ponte Vedra Beach. And Jerry sent me a picture of himself with a new T-shirt on. And let me see if I can find that here. Let me see. I hope I can. Let me see if I can find your picture, Jerry. Yes. There it is. There's Jerry with his carnivore food pyramid T-shirt. Where's the cigar, Jerry? Jerry sent me a picture not too long ago with the coffee cup and the cigar. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jerry. That's great. And Meetudes. Hey, Meetudes is here. Good to see you. DS111. Bartender A double. Yeah. I don't blame you. It's been one of those days. Sandy Blythe, did I say hi to you yet? Lizzie, how you doing, Lizzie? DS111 saying hi to everybody, and everybody's saying hi to everybody. Dixie Scott's here with us. Satya's here, too. Hiya, Satya. How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Spanky says, hello, Mitch. Cheers, buddy. And everybody's saying hi. Hi to everybody. CB's here. Hi, CB. How you doing, man? Happy. Yeah, I finally saw where you talked about your promotion. Congratulations, guy. Congratulations, man. I'm sure you earned it. Don't let it go to your head now. Aunt B is here. How you doing, Aunt B? Always good to see you. And anybody else new? Trucking Carnivore, how you doing, man? Good to see you. You on the road tonight? I guess it might be cold wherever you might be out there. Some weather we're having. It's going to be cold here tomorrow morning, too. I don't know, maybe about the same as this morning, so I'll be dressed up warm again. FX Trader, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I read 2 articles by young female science writers for The Atlantic and CNN. Yeah. Their articles claim that there's a connection between eating meat, saturated fat, and chronic disease. Yeah. Of course, look who they're affiliated with. I don't know which of those is the more radical left-wing news organization, the Atlantic or CNN, or are they both pretty much at the far extremes of going off the deep end on the left where you completely go around, and if you go any further, you end up coming up on the far extreme of the right, like going around the world. Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have plenty of evidence too from Nabisco and Pepsi Cola. Lots of evidence that you need to eat more sugar. It is kind of maddening, isn't it, when you think about it? The lies with no evidence to back them up. Wendland Crew, oh wow, he's still alive. You talking about me? Yes, I am still alive. How amazing is that, even at my advanced age? Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. P2 says, Rumble notified you of a live, but it goes to recording. Yeah, it notifies everybody of those things once they're done. I got a notice too, but I did set up one for tonight, and for some reason, my streaming software never connected, and I didn't even get any messaging saying that it did connect. Maybe I forgot to tell it to send it to Rumble. But whatever, most of the people that seem to be on Rumble are generally my regular viewers who are just watching on both platforms to help me out. So I don't think anybody's going to miss this tonight. And we keep going down the chat. A lot of chatting. Stickman's Garage is here. Evening Meat Outlaws. Working on designing a new Christmas train board. We'll be listening. Oh, man, does that bring back memories? When I was a kid, we had a basement in Philadelphia, and I always had a train layout every year of some kind. Nothing as elaborate as some of these things people build. But I back in those days, every kid was into trains, and I had the Lionel trains, and then we went to the HO gauge, but nothing like they have today. God, that was 65 plus years ago. I'm surprised I even remember it, but I can still picture it in my mind. I still can remember building the layout board, laying the track, and decorating it up with all that messy stuff that you had to vacuum up when you were done to take it down. Yes, sir. I'm looking. I still don't see any questions. Looking for somebody. Hey, there's one. Hey, yes, a question from Stickman's Garage. Question: This morning's live stream was an enjoyable adventure, at least for us. We know how conscious or conscientious you are about your production value. Thank you, man. Yeah, I am, and it really didn't bother me. It really didn't bother me that much. It was just a brief moment of I didn't want to lose the stream. I didn't want to lose it that early in the stream, and if it does go off, sometimes you can't recover and get back into these streams. You have to create a whole new stream, and that would have been a real hassle. So I was racing against the clock, which was like 5 minutes before the thing went away, and managed to get it done. And it was silly, and it turned out to be just a bad USB cable. But I didn't know if the problem was in the backup power supply or in the adapter that I was using to adapt the USB to the notebook and all that. It could have been one of 3 different places. And I just didn't know. And speaking of technical issues, my computer tonight is acting up on me as well. Chrome just closed a tab and said I don't have enough memory. I'm going to chalk it up to one of those days, guys, and just keep on trucking, because I still have the chat here in StreamYard. But yeah, I'm glad it still was enjoyable. We ended up going an extra 10 or 15 minutes, so the questions started to come in, and no, it was pretty good. I really enjoy. Listen, I really enjoy those morning things. I enjoy being outside. I enjoy seeing the morning sunlight. It's so much better than just doing it here in this studio that I'm in. And you've all seen where I'm sitting. I'm sitting in here in a dark room at a desk with lights, to light everything up. And I don't see the outside. I don't see anything. And I have monitors and buttons and cameras and mics and mixers, and sitting outside in the morning, it just feels good. And I like it. And that's one of the reasons I do it. I don't think I would be doing it if I didn't like it. Tom, how you doing? Tom from Tampa, good to see you. Jerry Voitish says that we appreciate it. I'm glad that you do. I'm glad that you do, guys. And the fact that you keep coming in the morning means you enjoy the sense of community. And that's what it's all about in the mornings. And these evening live streams that I do are becoming less and less. Well, not the private community. That's a whole different thing. But the evening live streams, if I knew that I didn't have all this work to do tonight, and I knew that Ellen wasn't going to make it, I would have probably sketched out some show notes so I'd have maybe something interesting to talk about. But I thought that I would keep this stream short tonight. Ellen and I would be bantering back and forth. We'd be interacting more with you. And then Ellen let me know she couldn't make it. And I'm sitting here 15 minutes before the stream going, what the hell am I going to do? I know. I'll just do what I usually end up doing and going down the chat and talking to my friends. So that's what tonight's all about. But I unless I get some really, really good questions, I don't think, honestly, and I'm sorry to say that this is going to be one of the best. I'm not looking forward to working until 2:00 in the morning on that website. Just not looking forward to it. But it's what I do. It's what I do. And when I tell somebody I'm going to do something, I haven't ever failed anybody yet. I'm not going to start today. So I'm going to charge them for it. However, they are going to pay me overtime. And they're glad to do it. They're glad to do it because the best they could do with anybody else would be maybe we'll get to it in a month. They're not going to throw 20 hours of work at somebody and tell them we need it by tomorrow. And there are some managers over there right now that aren't real happy with some of their people that waited till the last minute on this because I've been doing their work now for 8 years. And they take care of me. Now I get a message that they're having trouble streaming to your destination. So that must be the message talking about Rumble. So evidently they gave up trying to stream it to Rumble. I still see that I'm live on YouTube. So I hope that that wasn't about YouTube and the whole thing doesn't crash. And if the whole thing crashes and I go away, so be it. It'll be the end of a perfect day. Aunt B says, what does Aunt B say? Mitch, you can cancel, but pre-record an intro and let us chat to each other. Yeah, I suppose I could do that. I suppose I could do that. But no, I got some time. I'm happy to do it here, and I'm just going to look for some questions. And if a question comes up, I'll certainly give it my all and try to answer it, and finish drinking my what has become cold coffee. I did see, and I'm going to scroll down. Sherry Morgan asked a question. How you doing, Sherry? Good to see you. Thank you for showing up tonight. What is your all-time favorite cut of meat from the Brazilian steakhouse? Sending love and light. Sherry, that's interesting. The Brazilian steakhouse, believe it or not, there was a couple of really tasty cuts of meat, and I don't know if it was the way they seasoned it or prepared it. They had, of course, filet mignon. It was good. It was good. They had ribeye. That was good. But they had skirt steak, which is a leaner cut of meat. But there was something about the flavor of that that was, I think, the best tasting thing that they served us. I've never bought any of it. I used to eat flank steak, but that's a really rare cut of meat. And lean rather, and I try to stay away from lean cuts of meat. But I would say it'd be a toss-up between the ribeye and the skirt steak. But they had all kinds of. They had picanha, but I didn't like that as much as I liked the ribeye or the skirt steak. But it was good, and we ate like there was no tomorrow. Thank you for the super chat, dear. Thank you so much. And I have, you sent me some really, really cute pictures today. I think I need to share them. I don't imagine, with the fact that you're on YouTube, that you would be embarrassed by this, but I just thought these were really, really cool. And you call them mug shots. And I really like this. I really like this. This is let me get that off the screen there. This is backwards because I think she did it in the mirror with a selfie camera. But there's Sherry with my morning coffee mug, and I think that that's great. I think that that's absolutely great. And then you did this, which was really cool, because this is. I think this is very clever, Sherry. Tremendously clever. I mean, you made it look like a real mugshot with the marquee with your name on it. Guilty of milk theft. And you even made a hashtag, Mitch's mugshot. That's great. That's great. Thanks a lot, Sherry. Very, 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 very creative, and I really appreciate the effort you put into that. And those pictures are going to be on the homepage of the website in the gallery there with all the coffee mug and T-shirt pictures, and I'll probably get to that tomorrow because I'm not going to have time to get to it tonight. So thanks again for that. Thank you so much. And I skipped over quite a bit of the chat because I saw this, and I wanted to acknowledge Sherry's generosity and answer her question. But Tina has a question here. I had 2 pounds of deli roast beef given to me. Would that be okay to eat? Well, it's not going to kill you. And it depends on what kind it is. One thing about roast beef is, it's going to probably may have some kind of a brine. But it's not going to have a load of sugar. It's not going to have a load of carbs. I would think that if you know where it came from, that would help. But even if you don't know where, just taste it. Taste a little piece of it and see if it has any kind of a strange flavor. Like it's too sweet, or it's got too much of some strange seasoning or something like that. But if it's roast beef, I wouldn't hesitate. Now, if it was pastrami or corned beef or one of those kind of things, yeah, then I'd wonder just exactly how much curing agent and brining agent and sugar and everything else they put into it, and I'd be a little more wary of that. But roast beef, usually when you get roast beef from a deli, it's pretty unadulterated, so I don't think you'd have a problem with that. My opinion. And I'm going to quick run back up the chat and look for some QQQs. I don't want to listen. Here's one with 2 Qs. That must not be a really big question. Papa Carnivore, when's the next Melbourne meetup and cigar lounge? Peter, it's going to be after the first of the year. We'll do another one up here. We'll do another one. Did you? I don't know if I'll see your answer here, but I didn't. I wondered if you went down to the one that was down there with Lisa Wiedemann and Mike Seeley. Okay, I got back up to where I had left off before. So I didn't miss any of those questions. But Peter, after the first of the year, we're going to do that again. That was a blast. Had a good time. Yeah, we'll probably make that a regular thing every couple months up here if people still want to keep doing it. And there's Sherry's. Okay, that's where I left off. Laura is here. Laura, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. And see, Sherry, you have a following. Lori has announced that you are here. And wow. And there, Sherry says hi to everybody. Kitchen Witch says, Mitch, loving my new Ninja air fryer record. The best part is gave the old one to a friend that is wanting to go carnivore. Well, that's great. That's great. I hope that they actually follow through with it. I hope they follow through with it. Don't push too hard. Just encourage them. Set an example. Set an example. Here's somebody I don't know. Tweetin' Pearl. Hi from Southern California. Might be Sherry's neighbor. Tweetin' Pearl. How'd you find us here? And we were hiding. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Sammy Shuford. Hi, Sammy. Says good evening. Good evening to me, and I'm sure everybody else. Sorry for the delays, folks. I'm just trying to make my way down the chat, and there's some cues. Mitch, I work at the computer in the mornings and afternoons, burnt out by evening. Do you prefer to do that in the evenings? No, I don't. It doesn't matter to me. I wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every day. I mean, I don't even go live here till 8:30. And I set up and everything, but it's not uncommon for me to knock out an hour or two of work in the morning, even 5 o'clock in the morning. And then sometimes I'll find myself, especially if I have something that just needs to be done that isn't YouTube related. And it's very rare that I get anything thrown at me at the last minute. These guys are great friends. They have become friends. Everybody in that organization, they're a huge organization, and I mean right up to the top. I know them personally after all these years, and they work with my daughter's company in the public relations area, and I do the website stuff for them. And in fact, I built the whole website that they're using now, and give them, when they need something, I generally drop everything and do it for them. I don't get a ton of work from them, but the work I get is very profitable for me. Even if there's not a lot of hours, I get paid. It's really worth my time to do it. And generally, I can do it whenever I want to. And that's the kind of work I usually find myself doing at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. If I may have an hour of work to do for them, I'll just knock it out early in the morning before I even get started. Most of my day is pretty, take it as it comes, and just, I'm free to do and work on whatever schedule I want. And I love it. I should love it at my age. At my age, I shouldn't have to be punching clocks anymore. I should be free to do with my day what I want, and what work I do, especially the YouTube work, I do on my timetable and my schedule, which seems to be with YouTube most of every day, because it's very, very time-consuming stuff. It takes up a lot of your time, but it's a labor of love. I enjoy it. But I find, I mean, one more thing with that is, I don't find any time of the day where I can't think straight, or I'm not sharp, or I can't figure stuff out. From the time I get up in the morning to the time my head hits the pillow, I am sharp, I think, as anybody my age could possibly be. And I of course, attribute that to the lifestyle that I live. And it sure beats the hell out of drooling in some nursing home. And there's an awful lot of people that were much younger than me who are suffering that fate. And that's very sad. Very sad. Tuka, question. I'm still thinking and fighting with myself about adding more fat to my diet for the overall body fat percentage. Tuka, are you talking about adding fat to increase your body fat? It doesn't work. It really doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. Most people, when they add fat, end up losing weight. It's the sugar that goes to fat. The fat goes to most of it, unless you're eating exorbitant amounts of fat and tons of it. You're not going to store most of that away. You're going to be using it. You're going to be using it, metabolizing it for energy. You know how I feel about trying to micromanage or control anything by making adjustments in what you do. My philosophy is, and I stick to it because it's the first thing in my life that ever worked for me, and that is, don't do anything. Just take your cues from your body and the signs that you get. And there are signs for everything. Because we come from animals, and animals don't think, I need to increase my body fat. Animals eat when they're hungry, stop when they're full. They have basically a very simple range of foods that they eat. Instinctually, they know that that's what they eat, and they just eat that. They're programmed to eat that, and so are we. But we have a conscious mind that allows us to just screw everything up and kind of try to fix things all the time, improve things. We want to improve everything. If you want to increase the amount of body fat you have, if you think you're too thin, eat more food, but eat the same fat to protein ratio, as long as, here's the bathroom talk again, as long as your digestive system's working and your stool, the consistency of your stools is not constipated or runny. And that's the gauge. And we all have that gauge. So take a peek when you go to the bathroom and increase or decrease your fat percentage. But I don't even think about that anymore. I know that the bacon and the eggs that I eat has exactly the right fat percentage because that's the way they come in nature, and that's the way it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to have calculators and worry about grams of this and percentages of that. We're supposed to eat the food we're supposed to eat. It is the food that we adapted to, so it's obvious that our systems that we have work better with the food that we've adapted to over millions of years, and that's been meat and fat. So I try in every way not to overcomplicate or overthink anything, or ever even try to decide what my weight's going to be. I don't decide what my weight's going to be. My body decides what it's going to be. And wherever it is, that's the weight that I want. Right now, this morning, I weighed 135 pounds. You think I ever thought in my life of bouncing around between 150 and 60 and 200, 210 that I would ever in my life weigh 135 pounds? No. But by getting healthy and eating, I'm eating, Christ, 2.5 pounds of food every day, 5 or 6 large eggs, a half a pound of bacon, always at least a pound of beef or a pound and a half of something, and fish. That's plenty of food. I don't gain an ounce, and I don't lose an ounce. I bounce around a pound or two up and down around this weight, and I have been for quite a while now. And depending on, maybe I retain a little fluid one day, or maybe I have a little more in my bowel one day than the next, I might fluctuate a pound or two, but it always settles right back in around 135 now. That's my set point. That's where my body wants to be. Now, if I started working out much harder again, pushing weights, I would probably gain some muscle, but it would be muscle I don't need at my age, because I when I say I don't need it, I don't want to lose any muscle that I have, because I have adequate muscle to do everything I need to do. I can still do 20 push-ups. I can still walk miles and miles. It's not like I'm decaying away, but I found that by working out too hard, I hurt my joints. So at a certain age, you have to say, okay, I have to make some concessions to the fact that I am getting older. And that's just something, I don't care what you do. None of us are going to, everybody's talking about extending your life and longevity, but nobody's really proved any of that yet. None of them have been around long enough. So at any rate, I don't know, Tuka, exactly what you want to accomplish. You're fighting with yourself about adding more fat to your diet. That, I guarantee you, you won't gain. I don't think, in my opinion, because that's all this is my opinion. Who among us has proof that anything we say or hear from anybody, including the most esteemed purveyors on this, is actually guaranteed to be true? You take your best guess. But I don't think by increasing your fat, it's going to make you put on fat. It might make you reduce your body fat percentage a little bit. Again, you need to try it and see what happens, I suppose. I wish I could give you a better, more definitive answer, but I wasn't really too clear about what the question was. And Spanky tells me I rock and you guys appreciate me. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Hey, Furl Grandma's here. Good evening to you. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Turamir says to get the percentage down. Yeah, I think if you increase your fat intake, it may decrease the amount of body fat you have, but probably not a whole hell of a lot, because you should be decreasing your body fat by not eating sugar. Not eating sugar is what causes you to really lose the body fat. And more importantly, when you stop eating fructose and other sugars, that's when your visceral fat has a chance of going away. And certainly if you have any fatty liver, should clean that fat out of your liver. I know it didn't take me long to do that. Rick likes churrasco steak. Yes, that is good. But that stuff is got generally a lot of seasoning on it. A lot of seasoning. Smoothie likes flat iron steaks, if you can find it. Yeah, you don't really see that at Sam's Club. You don't see flat irons a lot, but I've seen some YouTube videos about it. I've never tried it. I may have tried it without knowing it, but you guys are talking about hockey. Still saying hello. And I'm just going through the chat. Good to see Sherry's chatting away with everybody tonight. Danny in Boston likes your picture, Sherry. Yeah, that was great. I still got it up on the screen over there. Sherry Morgan 100, Temecula, guilty of milk theft. It's really very creative, very creative. Ellen, Ellen, Ellen is here. Happy Tuesday night, everybody. Good to see you. I hope you're okay. I hope it wasn't too bad a day. And I hope I see you. I hope I see you in the morning. Look how everybody missed you. Look at this. Satya missed you. Laurie missed you. Everybody. Look at this. Look at this. Meetups missed you. That's got to make you feel good. Look. Look. Jerry. Dixie. Sandy Blythe. You guys are giving me a complex. You know, you're beginning to make me think that you don't come here for me, that you come here for Ellen. Not that I would blame you, but Ellen is here. Good to see you, Ellen. And she's saying hi to everybody, and I think we've kind of settled in tonight with, I haven't seen any newer people chiming in here in a little while. So I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going until I see any questions. Ellen, thank you, sweetie. Ellen says, Mitch is sharper than most people of any age. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you. And this is at 8:35, so I'm like 10 minutes behind here in the chat. And I need some San Pellegrino. Oh, there's a question. I see a question. Okay, let's see. FX Trader, question, is eating garlic and onion with meat okay or not? Well, if you're asking my permission, you don't need my permission or anybody's permission to do anything you want. And is it okay or not? Depends what you're trying to accomplish. Many people that live perfectly healthy lives eat garlic and onions in moderate quantity and have no problem with it. I don't think garlic, I even eat a little garlic once in a while on chicken wings. I use that blend seasoning. It has garlic, a little black pepper, and salt. And it's so little, and there's no sugar in it, I don't care. Now, onion is, if you're using onion powder or something, maybe a little bit be okay. If you're chopping up a whole onion and making fried onions, you're going to get sugar. And that's up to you. That's up to you. It's not going to be a ton of sugar. And if you're on a ketovore or less than a lion diet, you know, and you're not fussing so much over a tiny little bit of things, which I might act like I do sometimes, but I don't judge people who do it or say you shouldn't do it or you can't do that. Anybody can do anything they want. If they want to dive into a swimming pool full of Haagen-Dazs, go right ahead. I mean, don't let me stop you. We're all big people here. I don't know you. That would be easier for me to answer those kind of questions if I knew you. But I don't tell people not to. You just have to be careful about there's a saying, and we all heard it, and it applies to virtually everything. And the saying is, it's a slippery slope. And you know what that means. Sometimes a little bit of something doesn't hurt, but sometimes it leads to more and more and more and more, and then other things. Then the next thing you know, you've blown the whole mess. So it depends. If a small amount of garlic and onion with your meat is a slippery slope for you, and will it throw you off your diet because you're getting used to those flavors again? Or if you actually have a talk with yourself, sit down and say, why is it that I want that? Why don't I give myself a chance? And for a week or two, just eat my meat with salt. Because what happened to me and to a lot of people is that if you give yourself a chance, you begin to like it better that way. And that's just something I experienced. And I used to love, I threw out so many spices when I cleaned out my house. I mean, I had a whole cabinet full of every kind of spice, all the Indian spices, the turmeric, the adobo stuff, the Latin, I mean, all of that stuff. I used to love those flavors. Now, the thought of them, it doesn't even tempt me anymore. I really enjoy just the taste of the salt and the meat. And I think we go back to that and we get used to it. Almost like black coffee. People say, I could never drink coffee black. Well, after you try it for a while, pretty soon you don't want it any other way. So you might experiment, play around. And if you got to eat a little garlic and onion, knock yourself out, as long as you don't find yourself eating more and more and more and more of it every day, because it's creating something that's making you want it. And just understand that if you start eating certainly a larger quantity of onions, there may be some chemicals or sugar or things in there you don't want. That's the best I can do with a question like that. I hope that meant something to you. Those are hard questions to answer, because you're asking questions about like the fringe. Because you got some people that are absolute purists and some people that don't that tell you, anything's all right and anything isn't all right. So it's like me and my cigar. There's no middle of the road on that. People either think I'm crazy or they say, no, it's a good thing. Maybe coffee on carnivore is one of the most controversial things. Well, you're not a true carnivore because coffee comes from plants, Yeah, okay. Maybe it's my age. Maybe I'm just getting too old to take things that seriously, way too seriously. Let's see. I'm still looking. I don't know why, but Satya says she's in denial. I missed the reason. Oh man, you guys are a riot in the chat. Jeff Johnson, hey Jeff Johnson, how you doing? Somebody new. Longevity has its place. All I can do is eat a proper human diet and try to do my exercise routine every day, and I feel great for my age at 71. Thanks for your experience, Mitch. You're welcome, Jeff. You're welcome. And I'm with you. I don't buy into all this longevity stuff. That longevity, all this stuff is a great excuse to sell people shit. It really is. You look at any of the videos of any of these people that have discovered the greatest secret to longevity, the magic fill in the blank. Amino acid, enzyme, natural fungus extract, concentrated pond scum, you name it, whatever it is. Tests prove it increases your lifespan. I love the way they phrase these things. Tests prove it may increase your lifespan. And it also may not. It may shorten your lifespan too, but, we're not talking about that aspect of it. It may improve. It might. You may gain up to 10 extra years. Well, there's a absolute statement for you right there. And yet, it's never been. How can you test it? And even if you do think you found out it increased somebody's lifespan, how do you know that's what was doing it? How do you know it wasn't just genetics or something else they were doing? The only way to absolutely know anything like that for sure is lock people away for a lifetime in highly controlled experiments where you control every aspect of their life. You can't do that. That's impossible. It's all an excuse to sell expensive health products, supplements, drugs, beauty aids, you name it. You name it. They talk about telomere length. Most of you probably have heard about telomeres. It's like nature's hourglass that winds down as we get older. It's the end caps on our chromosomes. And every time they split, they get smaller and smaller until they're gone. And supposedly that's kind of like our countdown clock. And obviously we have one because we all die. We all die. And even today when all of us seem to be talking, all of the carnivore influencers, everybody, I don't think I've ever come out and said this because I don't really believe it. But you hear so often that humans are designed, which is something that, take that with a grain of sand, to live 120 years. Well, I don't see any 120-year-olds, no matter what they eat or how healthy they are. I don't see anybody living to 120 right now, not on this planet. And I think, and the reason that I do this for me, and my attitude is, I kind of like what I hear Sean Baker say his attitude is. And that is, I don't know how long I'm going to live. None of us do. But I do know that however long that might be, I want to be as healthy as I can be without being in pain, with a clear mind, and have the best quality of those years. And not worry about how many of them there are. And as you get older every year, and Jeff, you're almost as old as me. You're 71. But I'm closer to 80 now than I am to 70. And that's going to be another milestone in a couple of years. And I basically say every day, I feel great. I feel great. I would be very happy if I stayed this way and didn't deteriorate a lot. But I know I'm going to get older and I'm going to slow down, I'm sure. But I've known some 100-year-olds with minds every bit as sharp as mine. So I'm not convinced that our brains that we have to become stupid and senile as we get older. There are some really brilliant old people. And that's what I want to be. And I feel good this way. Nothing hurts. everything works. If you're going to live, that's the way I want to live. I'd rather be dead than live like some of these people that are in my neighborhood around here when I look at them. Huge people that can't walk anymore, lost feet to diabetes. Their minds are going, heart disease, they've had bypasses, it's terrible. They're 10, 15 years younger than me. No, thank you. No, thank you. So I'm gonna keep doing this, but I don't concentrate on longevity, don't go out of my way every time somebody raises a little flag that says, hey, over here, I can make you live longer. I say, yeah, what do I need to buy? I'm a real cynic. Now, maybe one of these days science will come up with something. And then there's a not a moral question but a practical question is, just how long do I want to keep competing in this world? Because you're always competing. How long do I, is there come a time when I just get tired of it? Been there, done that. I don't know. I won't lie to you. Every person my age thinks about it, as all of your friends are dying off. I lost all my friends. And then a year and a half ago, I hit the average age of a male in this country. That means I'm really over the hill now. But I don't think I project that, do I? I don't think when I talk to you guys that I reek old man. I feel inside, I still feel 30, honestly. Still feel 30. Got a few wrinkles, but what are you going to do? But I feel great, and I attribute it to this lifestyle. And the best thing is I'm not a slave to food anymore. I'm never hungry. I don't think about it. And I'm pretty much most of the time, other than when a little something pisses me off, which I don't carry with me. I don't get moody at all. I might get angry at something, but I get over it quick. My basic philosophy these days is, hey, life is pretty good. And I really want to project that stuff until sometimes I hear something so absurd I have to rant about it, but I get over it quick. Ellen says, Jerry, I haven't seen you in a blue moon, whatever that means. Yeah. Oh, Ellen, I sure like this time a lot better than 7 in the morning. Well, we need to fix that, Ellen. Rise and shine, rise and shine. And you're a half an hour behind me. Well, that makes you later than me, doesn't it? No, yeah. If I get up, if I start here at 8:30, yes, it's 7:30 for you. That means you do have to start earlier than me. Hey, Ricky Lee's here. Hi, Ricky. How you doing? I just now put a rack of pork loin ribs with a dusting of Maldon's in the oven. Yes, see, that's how you do it. No onion or garlic. A little smoked salt. Away we go. I don't know if Ellen is yelling at me or what. Here we go. Tom is knows a lot about a lot of things. And some time ago, somebody referred to me using this term or using these words. And I think that would probably fit Tom as well. Tom's a technical guy, computer guy, knows all that stuff. And somebody once said to me, Mitch, you're a veritable shithouse of trivia. I took that as a compliment. So that came to mind, Tom, reading your comment here. Blue moon means second full moon in a calendar month. They only happen 3% of the time. But are they blue? And why do they have that name? Inquiring minds want to know. Hey, here's somebody. Janice Childers question. Hello, Ellen. Not a question, but got my attention. And Spanky hasn't found the caps lock key after all these years. Not yet. Not yet. It's that key that says caps lock on it. Spanky, they say that that typing in all caps in any kind of a chat room is the equivalent of screaming your brains out. Oh, CB, I've developed a new addiction, ancient Greek and Roman coins. You're a collector, man. I'm telling you, you have that mentality. CB collects everything. He some of the wildest stuff he shows us on Thursday night that he's collected. 2,000-year-old ones, coins now. Wow, wow. And they're too small to show on our private community stream, so don't worry. I'm glad to hear that Ellen's not gone away, because I would hate for that to happen. And I'm reading the chat, and I'm up to 8:49, and I'm still 15 minutes behind. Holy cow. I better not stop and talk too much. That's what happens. And B, well, we got 100 people here. Let's see what else we got. I think that we're just chatting back and forth. Dixie's glad that you made it in here tonight, Ellen. That was nice. And Rhonda's here. Hi, Rhonda. Atta girl. Atta girl. You stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Rhonda sent me a very nice picture of her with her coffee cup that I showed this morning. Glad to see you guys are enjoying those cups. I enjoy mine. Does it have any coffee left in it? No, it is empty. It is empty. And God, here I go. I wanted to stop this at an hour, and we're still going. And if you're not bored and like the company, we'll stick around a little while longer. Let's see here. Pearl Grandma tells me that Ellen posts videos of going for walks with the dog. Where do you post that, Ellen? Do you do that on social media? Do you do that on Instagram or something like that? Hey, retired Rick's here. How you doing? Says hello, everyone from Illinois. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, we're coming up on 9 o'clock in the chat. I think I said hi to Jack's 51 or Jack 51 before, but in case I didn't, there you go. And everybody's just chatting. Made it to 9 o'clock. I'm going to run down the chat, guys, because I got to go here pretty soon and get to work. Rhonda says, I inspired her to go carnivore. Don't worry about what other people say or think. Well, sometimes we get our feelings hurt a little bit, but no, I'm a pretty independent thinker when it comes to that stuff. And consider the source. Something my father used to always say. Consider the source. Made you look, made you look. Ellen says, just kidding, boss. I'm turning into a morning person. It's good. It is. It is good. Oh, look. Oh, look. Look. Quentin Onazine. How do you pronounce that? Quentin Onazine, I guess. Super chat. Thank you so much. I have a question. I just found out my table salt contains low amounts of dextrose. Dextrose. Will that affect my blood sugar? Probably not. Not in that level. Why they would put dextrose in table sugar, I don't know. I would get some of the Redmonds. I don't know why everybody recommends it. I use it. Get it on Amazon. I got a link in my website to it. Redmond's Real Salt. And there's no dextrose in that. That's mined from ancient seabeds, unpolluted. And for that reason alone, it's probably pretty good. It contains a lot of minerals and things in it as well. So it's a good natural salt. But some of the stuff they manufacture today is horrible. And why they put dextrose in it, other than maybe in some chemical as a desiccant designed to keep it from clumping up. Because it's a problem with salt sometimes in a shaker when it gets moist. It clumps up, and you got to bust it up all the time. Some of these different things they put in, almost like putting talcum powder in it to keep it from sticking together, like you do on a baby's diaper. I don't know, but I can't imagine with a couple shakes of salt that you'd be getting enough dextrose to do anything to your blood sugar. I mean, I can't imagine. I'd have to look at the label. Does it show any carbohydrates at all on the label? Probably not. I wouldn't worry about that. And thank you for the super chat, Quinn. I appreciate that. Very nice of you. Take a look at the label on that stuff and see if you can figure out why. And I'd be interested to know what the brand of that is. And Papa Carnivore says to Quentin, yes, so we disagree. I don't think that's going to raise your blood sugar, the amount of dextrose that might be in a couple shakes of table salt. Probably micrograms. But look at the label. Look at the label. Hey, CB, you see what I mean? It is true. I'm not the only person that's ever heard that when you type in all caps, it means you're yelling and screaming. That's just chat etiquette or social media etiquette. I love you guys. I love you guys. Paul McGrogan yells at CB, what? CB? In caps. I mean, look at these guys. Look at these guys. Is CB a Royal Canadian Mounted Police or what? No, he's an Alabama sheriff. And this is what we have on Thursday night in our private community. These guys. Somebody chimed in here. Claudia Is it Birchick? I don't know how you would pronounce that. Brkic. Am I catching up to this chat or is it staying ahead of me? 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay, I'm getting there, guys. Want to look for any last questions? I can't help but reading what you guys write because some of you guys are are really funny. Okay, here you go. It was HEB brand. I never heard of that. Let's see. HEB salt. Let's see what Dr. Google has to say. HEB iodized salt. $67. You can find it on aisle 7 at the Victoria HEB Plus. Okay. And highlights, it's kosher, low carb lifestyle. Here's the ingredients. Total carbohydrate is 0. Added sugars is 0. Total sugars is 0. Calories is 0. Ingredients: salt, potassium iodide, dextrose, sodium bicarbonate, yellow fructiate of soda. Okay, so dextrose is third on the list. And when you look at ingredients on an ingredient list, they're in there by volume. So in other words, the most prevalent ingredient comes first, and the thing at the last on the list is something that there may be a trace of. What does it say for serving size on here? 491 servings per container. A serving is 1/4 teaspoon, which is a pretty good shake of salt. 1/4 teaspoon. It's going to make, when you do a salt shaker a couple times, 1/4 teaspoon is a decent amount of salt. So there's no carbohydrates in it. There's no sugars in it. There's no added sugars. No nothing. Everything is 0. That's because it's just, and there's some iodine in it, which couldn't hurt you. 67 micrograms of iodine. And when you compare that to Lugol's 2%, one drop of Lugol's has 1,500 micrograms. So the 67 micrograms of iron in here it'd be like 1/20th or 25th of the dose of a drop of Lugol. So it's not a significant amount of iodine. Not enough, I don't think, to give you any meaningful benefit from it. They do claim it's 45% of the recommended daily allowance, but that number is way low for iodine these days. I think that you need a lot more than 100 micrograms of iodine a day. I take 3,000 micrograms a day now with 2 drops of the Lugol stuff. But now, looking at this is what you have to do when you ask a question like you did. You have to take a look at the product itself. And there's no way this can have enough sugar in it to hurt you when you're not going to be using. Now, if you're making, you're brining things and using tablespoons full of salt, yeah, maybe you might have to think about it twice. But just to salt your food with, I wouldn't worry about it. But I would, and 67 cents for 26 ounces of salt is like the cheapest thing on the planet. So it's going to be to buy any of these Redmond salt and everything like that. It's going to be 20 times more expensive than that. And if it works, you can use it. I don't know how much salt you use or how salty you really like things, but there you go. That's how when we talk about researching things, it's just that easy to find stuff out. Everything is there and accessible. If you got a phone or a computer now, you could find any fact about anything anywhere. It's incredible. I remember back in the day, we used to have to go to the library and sit down with the microfiche machines and look over old magazines and newspapers to find things, and none of it was indexed. Now it took me half a second just with the name HEB, and I found everything I need to know about it. So there's your answer. There's your answer. I finally got a definitive answer to a question. And Ricky Lee said, Mitch, my blood pressure was high Monday afternoon at the doctor's. Not sure why, but I had salted water before bed the night before. Doc said cut back on the salt. Thoughts? I did a whole rant this morning about getting your blood pressure measured at a doctor's office. They don't ever measure your blood pressure correctly. Don't take my word for it. Watch a couple of Ken Berry's videos and listen to him rant about how silly they are not knowing how to even take somebody's blood pressure. I went to the VA yesterday morning and had a male nurse. You see the nurse first and they sit down and they start asking you a billion questions. And he starts coming at me with a blood pressure cup. I said, no, thank you. He looked at me, and I did the same thing with this urologist I went to when I was passing my kidney stone. Before I got to see the doctor, she's heading with a blood pressure cuff. I said, no, it's not necessary. I know my blood pressure, and you don't have to worry about it. Oh, sir, I have to take your blood pressure. I said, no, you don't have to take my blood pressure. You touch me, I'm going to have you arrested for assault. Honest to God. Well, needless to say, that doctor, he didn't treat me very well, and I don't even care. I'm sorry. Nobody tells me what I have to let them do if I don't want them to do it. Period. End of story. Not with my body. Sorry. And at the VA, he said the same. Well, I have to take your blood pressure. I said, no, you don't. And that ended our interview quick. Then I went in and saw my urologist, and she and I have known each other for years, and she knows how I feel about this stuff. I said, yeah, I think your nurse doesn't like me. She started laughing. and then we talk about my YouTube channel and to talk about carnivore, although she's not doing it. But no, I don't let them do it. And I have a history that goes back to when I used to have to get a flight physical to keep my pilot's license current every year. And the blood pressure from the time I first started 50, 60 years ago, I could never get a decent blood pressure in a doctor's office. I could never get one. I would look like I was ready for a stroke. I have white coat syndrome. First of all, they don't let you relax long enough. They don't let you calm down. They don't make sure you're sitting in the right position with your feet flat on the floor, your arms raised up to about heart height, and you're not stressed. And then they throw these automatic machines on you, and some of them are just so annoying because they'll pump up tight, and for some reason they'll decide they don't like it, and then they'll let off a little, then they'll pump up even tighter, and they'll let off some more, and they'll pump up even tighter, and then next thing you know, you think your arm's going to die from lack of blood flow. They're so tight. And then they come and tell you your blood pressure is 210 over 140. and I can never get a good blood pressure. Now, I have an automatic blood pressure machine here at home. Hold on a second. I keep it right here above, in the cabinet above my desk. And this little blood pressure machine, and I have another blood pressure machine. I have two other blood pressure machines that every once in a while I will cross-check them to make sure that there's nothing wrong with this one. But when I have a button on this one that says memory. I want to show you this. It says memory right there. See it? And when I push that button, what you're going to see is this thing stores 100, the past 100 readings it took of me are in memory here. It also has a switch over here that says 1 or 3. And I have it over where it says 3. And that means whenever I take my blood pressure, it takes it 3 times. Takes it once, doesn't show me the number. Doesn't want me to get nervous. It just takes it, waits about 15 seconds, takes it again, takes it 3 times, and then averages those 3 together and presents the number. And then it stores it away in the memory. And the first time I push this memory button right here, this is going to show you the average of the last 100 times that I've taken my blood pressure with 3 measurements each time. So this is basically the average of the last 300 readings. 116 over 66 with a pulse of 62. Okay? And I keep a picture on my cell phone of that screen that I just showed you. And whenever I get into the nonsense with these people about them telling me I need to be taking 3 blood pressure medications and I need to cut out salt and I need to do all the other bullshit that they think is correct, that like every bit of other medical advice they give is exactly backwards, I show them that. And I say, I'm sorry. I don't want to insult you, but you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know where you went to school. I mean, I'm brutal with some of these people. They are hurting people with their bad advice. Look what they're doing to people that you love. Now, yeah, maybe you do have high blood pressure, but get your own machine. They're not expensive. I put this one up on my website, the newest version. This thing's 15, 20 years old, for God's sake. It still works perfectly. But they make a new one. It's like $50, $60. Get one. Take your blood pressure at the same time every day, in the same state and condition. And the way I do that is I take my blood pressure maybe once a week. And I get up in the morning, and I always do it right when I get up. I do it before I get dressed. I get out of bed. I don't drink any coffee. I may drink a little water or something. I come right here into my office. I sit down at my desk. I put the BP cuff on my arm, same arm every time. Doesn't matter which one. You pick an arm, but do it the same way. Make sure you position it properly. Make sure that it's in the same place you usually put it. Make sure that you don't have a lot on your mind. It's first thing in the morning. Take a deep breath, put your head back, and just sit there and think happy thoughts for about 10 minutes. And then push the button on the blood pressure machine. And I let it go the 3 times. I don't watch the meter. I don't watch the numbers while it's gone. I basically just shut my eyes, let it do its thing. Because if I see the numbers and I see maybe it went up a little too high before it let the pressure off, I'll start to worry and say, oh my God, it's going to come out. Because that's just my experience. That's my white coat syndrome. And it comes out the same within 5 points, one way or the other. Every time. Every time. Same time of day, same routine. That's how you know what your real blood pressure is. Tell me if that sounds like the experience you had at your doctor's office when you went into your doctor's office and he took your blood pressure. Did you walk in with a smile on your face, relaxed? Or did you just get done racing through traffic, being aggravated? You sat out in his waiting room for half an hour. Being further aggravated, you've been sitting in this little exam room for a half an hour waiting for him. Did they let you relax and calm down and think good thoughts before they threw this machine on you that made your arm hurt? No. Is it any wonder why your blood pressure's high? So, anytime somebody says, Ricky, anything like my blood pressure was high at the doctor's office, I say, I would be surprised to hear anything else. Unless you're not a health conscious person, because the average person doesn't think about his blood pressure, doesn't know what it's supposed to be, so they don't have any preconceived notions, so they don't get stressed out about it. But the act of being stressed out about what your blood pressure is going to be makes your blood pressure go up. And it goes up and down all the time. And add that to the fact that because of the influence from the drug companies, they keep readjusting what they consider the normal range. They keep lowering it. You got a blood pressure of 140 over 90, they tell you you're going to die. That's normal for most people during the course of a day when they're up and active. They want you on those BP meds. And some of those things that they had me on had terrible side effects. I remember losartan gave me a dry cough that just wouldn't quit. It was terrible. Terrible. I was so happy to get off of all of those things, and all of those readings that you just saw on my BP machine were done long after I gave up the medication. And for that reason, I do not let. Now, they took my blood pressure when I went in the hospital with my kidney stone, and it was like 210 over 110. And the guy says, and it's the same one of those machines that just kept squeezing tighter and tighter and tighter, and I'm getting more aggravated. I'm in pain from the kidney stone. He says, your blood pressure's high. I said, what the hell do you expect? I'm in pain here. It's supposed to be high. And they act on it. They act like that's what your blood pressure is normally. Well, I haven't stroked out yet. And I mean, that's why I take it myself. So it's one less thing I have to worry about. Anyway, that's a great question. And as far as the salt goes, increase your salt. Don't cut it back. And if you don't believe me, just start researching salt's effect on blood pressure, and you'll find yay and nay, and then look into the yay and the nay and see which ones you think have credibility. I've done that many times in the past, and I'm of the thought that just eat salt to taste, and you'll be getting exactly the salt that you need. And most of us need more salt than we're getting. Most people are sodium deficient, if anything. And sodium is something they can check the levels of, too, when you have some blood work done. Anyway, I hope that answers that question, and you just put me way further behind in the chat, but what time are we doing? What time are we at here? Let's see. We're going to end up doing 2 hours tonight anyway. Oh, Sherry Morgan bought me some coffees, 3 coffees. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much. Sherry is such a generous woman and the nicest person. At least she is to me. And I appreciate it. I'm sure she's that way to everybody. Thank you so much, Sherry. I really appreciate that. I did get that question. That was good. That's a great question with the blood pressure. It really was, Ricky. Yeah. Oh, reminds me when I went in for my brain surgery, and most of you probably heard the story of my subdural hematoma 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, that I had to have removed. And I go in the hospital for brain surgery, and I have screaming high cholesterol, of course, which is right where I want it to be. And you should see the face on these medical professionals when they say, "Holy cow, sir, your LDL is 340." They start showing me coffins, for God's sakes. We have this lovely model, right? They think I'm not long for this world with the LDL of 340, and I look at them and I say, "Yeah, I know, but I'm shooting for 400. I would much rather it be 400." They look at me like I have three eyes, honest to God. But it's true. When you're lean, like I am, and anybody that doesn't call me lean at 135 pounds, 5'10", needs to get new glasses. When you're lean and your HDL is high and your triglycerides are low, you pretty well qualify for this lean mass hyperresponder phenotype that they've been doing a lot of testing on. And you're a fat burner. And when you're a fat burner, of course, you have to transport that fat to every cell in your body. In order to do that, you need lipoproteins, LDL. Anybody that understands how that works, it's a no-brainer to figure that out. LDL is not cholesterol, and cholesterol is necessary, and it's why my brain works so good, and theirs doesn't, because I'm not artificially lowering. It's why my testosterone is 729, and theirs is 250, because they're lowering their cholesterol with statins. And cholesterol is the precursor to that hormone. None of it is guesswork. It's all science. It's all known. This doesn't fit in with the agenda that sells us the drugs. So I was going somewhere with this. I'm tired. I don't know how I got down that road, but that happens to me. So it'll come back to me maybe. But I do need to keep going. I was trying to make a point. We were talking about salt or something like that. I think I was trying to make a point about salt and ended up using cholesterol as an example and forgetting the main point. Here's our HEB is clear across town, so I never go there waiting for them to go. I don't even know what an HEB is. I never heard of it. Never heard of it. Here's a question. Claudia Burkick? I don't know how to pronounce that. Did Lugol's help you in your carnivore journey? It's hard to put your finger on. There are some things in life you do because you think it might help, but it couldn't hurt. Okay? And there's more than enough evidence about iodine deficiency in the foods that we eat today, and all of the things caused by, especially thyroid problems in women, from iodine deficiency, and even in men. There's claims, how proven they are or not, that thyroid is good for all your organs, and in men especially your prostate, which is something many men my age have problems with. In fact, most men my age, 80% of them, last thing I read, said that 80% of men my age have an enlarged prostate, non-cancerous, BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia, it's called. And it keeps you from peeing at night. And I think because of things like that, I say, well, they say iodine is good for that, so I'm going to take a couple drops a day. I can still pee at night, so maybe it's working. Can I attribute it to the iodine? I don't know. Who knows? Couldn't hurt. And when you hear Ken Berry, who I respect, when you hear Ken Berry talk so much about iodine supplementation and his reasons and the research, and I've done a lot of reading on my own, I've come to the conclusion that they're probably correct, that the soils today are, especially where they're doing the monocropping and the factory farming, and they're using these chemical fertilizers, and the cows aren't crapping on the fields. The fields are not getting all the minerals that they need to have in the soil. And then if it's not in the soil, it doesn't get in the grass. If it doesn't get in the grass, then if a cow happens to eat it, it doesn't get in the cow. And if you eat that meat, it doesn't get into you. And that's why we need to supplement stuff. And electrolytes and minerals are probably the things we need to supplement the most. And that's where iodine comes in. So, yeah, I can't tell if it's helped any or not, but I think it has. But I can't quantify it. I can't say anything like, yeah, before I started taking the iodine, this sucked, but now it's better. You know, I can't give you that answer. I can't give you that answer, but it's a prophylactic thing, something you do just in case. And in that respect, I say, if you don't overdo it, and a drop or two a day is not overdoing it, even though the doctors will tell you that's a huge dose. When they recommend 100 micrograms a day and you're taking 3,000, they're going to tell you, oh, you're overdosing on it. Nah, bullshit. I don't think so. Anyway, that's my take on that. Ellen's still here. Ellen, you're staying up late tonight. And I'm still here. Holy cow. All right, I'm going to run down the chat real quick. I'm going to see if I see any more QQQs. And, there we go. Okay. Lori, are there any gadgets you don't have, Mitch? That's an easy question to answer. Yes, there's a lot of gadgets I don't have, but I don't need any of them. Trucking Carnivore, is that one of your links, blood pressure that has the average? Yes, there is a I put it because I put it in there specifically, and I don't remember who it was for. But they asked me to put a link to the blood pressure machine that I used in my links, and it's in the down at the bottom here. It says, this is my homepage, and here it says, this is the page, links to stuff I use, and it says exercise equipment, BP cuff, and scale. And here is the newer version of that. It's $52, and this is it right here, and it has the same readout that mine has. It looks like it's a little, it's smaller. I think it looks but a different kind of a case. But mine is like 20, got to be at least 20 years old. But it's Microlife. They're really well built, and for $52, and the link to that is on my page there. And it says gentle. It's probably better than the one that I have. I'm telling you, after all these years with this thing, the quality of this cuff, it still looks brand new. And the Velcro, I mean, this thing was like $175 way back when I bought it. It's crazy how. But if you look at the display, it has the same, see right up the side, it has the same writing all around the outside of it, and the layout of the display is the same, although I think the new display looks like it's a little bigger. At any rate, if I was going to buy another one, which I don't need, I would buy another one from this company there. They are, and it works great. It just never failed. It has never failed. So I hope that answers that question for you. And they're not expensive for $50, man. You know, that's not, in most cases, a copay to go into the doctor to have them screw up your blood pressure reading. FX Trader, this is funny. My doc's blood pressure goes up when you show up. Yeah, they also feel the beginnings of heart disease come on when they see my cholesterol numbers. Oh, man. Janice Childers says, old guy carnivore, I tried your pork rinds from Aldi with my bone broth and meat. I bloated up real bad. I wonder about maybe the ingredients. Wow, I'm surprised to hear that. There's really not much in those things. I can't tell you why. I can only tell you maybe you have an allergy or a sensitivity to something. Hope you got better. I've never heard of that. You did get the Clancy's, and without, not the barbecue flavored ones, but the plain ones. I mean, there's not even an ingredients list on that. It's got nothing but pork skins rendered in their own fat. Unless they change something. Take a look at the label. Make sure they didn't start adding some stuff to those. I haven't eaten them in a while. I've been getting the ones from Sam's. But even when these companies, I've eaten those Aldi's ones for years and years. When I say years, I'm talking 10 plus years and never had a problem. Maybe coincidence. There might have been something else in that bone broth. Did you try eating the bone broth without the pork rinds and see if you got the same result? Would have no idea what happened other than to say, sorry to hear it happen to you. Question, is iodine water soluble? Yeah, iodine, you can, except don't spill it on anything because it'll stain the hell out of whatever you spill it on. Yeah, because you can just put your iodine drops in your coffee. You'll never even taste them. They just, I don't even stir it. I just put the 2 drops in the cup, put it under the Keurig, just the force of the little drip coming out, the stream coming out of the Keurig, just fully mixes the iodine in with the coffee. Stephen Albeck's here. How you doing, Stephen? Good to see you tonight. And we have Janice Childers. It's pork rinds, smoke salt. I never heard of one with smoke salt. Is that the Clancy's brand? I'll have to look next time. I haven't been in Aldi's in a while. I keep buying more and more of my stuff at Sam's. Scooby says, Mark C. asked for that. I don't know what you're talking about. I must have missed. I didn't see Mark's. I didn't see a chat from Mark. So we'll figure out what that means later. Oh, now you guys are all asking questions. Do you like Topo Chico carbonated water in glass bottles? I think it's absolutely the best. I've never tried it. I don't know how much is it any more expensive than this. I know this is a plastic bottle, but I don't worry about that too much. I don't drink enough of it, to tell you the truth. And I don't leave bottles of it in a car to get hot, because plastic becomes a little more hazardous if it's got the BPA and the PFAS chemicals in it. When it gets hot, when it gets heated up. But no, I haven't seen Topo Chico in glass bottles. Do they have like a refund? A refund? You remember like the old Coke bottles used to have? Remember that, where you'd get where you used to get 5 cents back or 2 cents back, and people used to run around picking up your bottles so they can make money. I got to the bottom of the chat. William McCartney, and hello to you and Luna. Old guy, here it is. It's supercharged with carbonation. No, if I see it, maybe I'll try it, but no. No, I haven't. Janice says, Aldi has smoked flavor and salt. Sorry. I never saw the smoked flavor. Don't be sorry. I never saw the smoked flavor ones. I just get the plain Clancy's. They come in a yellow bag, and I looked at it. I never see any ingredients list. It just says pork, pork skins. Doesn't I look specifically to see if it says a seed oil, but you don't need it. Why would they render something that has all that fat in it in seed oils? But they say some companies, like Lay's and some of those other ones, find it's maybe a cheaper way to cook or more efficient way to cook. I have no idea. Well, I got to the end of the jacket, and you guys are still going, saying good night. Yeah, start saying good night to everybody. Hell, we've almost gone 2 hours. I've been live for 1 hour and 55 minutes now. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Well, we got through it. I hope it wasn't boring. Got 88 people still in here, so it wasn't too bad. I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you all. And I won't be up all night working. I'll get what I need to get done here in an hour or two, more than likely, and get to bed and be up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow morning for morning coffee with Mitch. So since I don't smoke cigars in the house, I can't light up my cigar and tell you guys to say goodbye to each other. But what I can do is I can do this. See, let me settle back here. There we go. I could take my blood pressure now. This is what you need to do before you take your blood pressure. You just need to sit still, think happy thoughts, listen to some good music. You'll calm your ass right down. Maybe even nod off, go to sleep. At any rate, I love that music. I love it. It's called Raining in My Heart is the name of this song. I love it. I love it, guys. Anyway, thanks. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for putting up with me. And see you tomorrow morning. Get that coffee brewing. But for tonight, and even though there's not much of it left, my friends, take the rest of the day off and eat some meat.